WTUG HD2 Northport and W265CG Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. A Town Square Media station. WTUG HD2 Northport and W265CG Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Alabama 1st and 10 on the 12. Again, Houston. He's got a hole. He's over. Alabama touchdown.
I'm just wondering if your listeners know how good a football player you were. I can still see you playing that fullback, knocking those players out of the way. And I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when we came to summer and you playing fullback up there. And I saw you in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. If you were strong enough to pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to fix it, and our running back coach didn't take the pass. Biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9 on your radio dial. Martin Houston Show can also be found on the Martin Houston Radio Network on social media outlets, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Martin Houston Speaks is where you can find us in those various outlets. It's a great show lined up for you. I want to invite you to get in on the conversation this morning at 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. That's the Alabama One hotline. We got a great show lined up for you. So we're going to not spend a whole lot of time in the prelims, but go ahead and get ready to get things started this morning. We'll have a special edition of True False, and we'll move into a little Would You Rather. And then, of course, we'll wrap things up as we do each and every Wednesday with a little Scotty Hollins, Executive Director of Blueprint Ministry, as Martin Houston Speaks, your Christian moment of the week. So, all right. Reminding you, like we do each and every day, that this is a day that the Lord has made. So let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone. Be the difference. Be the difference. You go out and be the difference you want to see in the world today. So with that said, we want to bring X in. Good morning, X. How you doing, sir?
Good morning. Doing well. How are you?
Doing well. Well, yesterday, man, we had a lot to get to, and we didn't get to it all yesterday, including not getting to talk much about basketball. But last night, Alabama getting yet another big win as they hold off the Memphis Tigers 91-88. So we're going to tie that into a little true false here. The team held off late surge, Penny Hardaway, and the Memphis Tigers just wouldn't go away. Physical team, a game that I think last year this team loses. But this year, this scrappy team found a way to win. So in true false fashion, I ask you and Joe, are, in the words of Mark Sears, with a little modification, are we seeing the budding birth of Alabama becoming a basketball school? True, false?
Oh, Martin. I got to go false because you said becoming a basketball school. Martin,
Uh-oh.
we've been a basketball school since you hit the double SEC championship in 2020. You get the SEC championship. You've taken down numerous top 5 teams in the last 2 years. I think it's safe to say we are a basketball school.
True, false? Joe come out swinging. X, what's your thoughts?
I'm going to go true. Really are. There's a crazy stat that I saw the other day about Alabama basketball head coaches with wins over top 5 teams. And Nate Oates in 2.5 years has more wins. 3.5 years has more wins against top 5 teams than any coach in Alabama basketball history. So
Already?
Alabama is becoming a basketball school.
Did you say already? He's already got more?
Already it has more wins than our guy Webb and any other coach in Alabama basketball history. Went past 4. One more coach I think has 4. Got some that didn't beat anybody, and Nate Oates and Nate has the only winning record against top 5 teams at 5-4.
Curtis Lewis threw a little bit. He said, no, we're a championship school. And I think that's what defines a championship school is that everybody acts like they're exclusive, right? that you have to be one or the other, but you don't. You can be both. And a matter of fact, when the traditional schools that have jumped up and won a basketball non-traditional school that won basketball in SEC, they've usually had a decent football program to go along with it. I can remember as a player myself, man, it actually would help recruiting. I don't know how much more help we need with recruiting, but I can tell you this: if we can hold on to Nate Oates, guys, true, false, the next coach, if it happens in the next few years, and we can hold on to Nate Oates, and maybe he has enough young kids that will still be in school, we can, that he don't want to move when they get to that high school age. The next coach is hoping that he can keep it going. So true, false, the next coach is hoping that Nate Oates is still around, turning Alabama into a basketball school.
Oh, true.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we saw the impact that Anthony Grant and Avery Johnson had that helped help football. Even they feed off of each other, especially with Nick Saban. And I think the next coach will want to be able to build off of that as well.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Curtis Lewis saying now we need to get the women's basketball program on track. Oh, and he's calling for the firing of Coach Curry. Take that program serious. Okay.
Curry's there.
I did see last year.
I think.
Huh?
I think they're 8-2 this year.
Well, I mean, maybe they turned the corner. You know, last year was the first year that Alabama women's basketball made the tournament since like 1999. So maybe it's turned the corner. Maybe this is finally all coming together. And
6-2.
Huh? 6-2.
6-2.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. SEC women's basketball is a tough road to hoe too. But before we go any further, I do need to. I didn't do it yesterday, and I apologize, and don't want to go too far into it. I mentioned it. Of course, he was needing a miracle, but of course, we know the passing of Coach Leach, Mike Leach, and I shared on my page and stuff like that. But I wanted to share on the airwaves that we send out our condolences to his wife and his children, and to those players over at Mississippi State. And to that program, and and that community, I talked to my CEO is an alumnus of Mississippi State, and he said that the community is kind of willing because they don't have they don't have a set athletic director because Cohen went to Auburn, and then you lose your coach. So that's two of your biggest sports related positions unexpectedly taking a hit. So just lift those up, because ultimately sports, man, it's about the kids that play it and leadership there. So we send out our condolences to them and their family, and pray for them and as they go through this time of loss and tragedy. So X, the couple quick things on the basketball. We have got to as a program, true false. Simi and I got to go to the game last night, and here's the question, X. Simi made a great announcement. He said, free throws used to keep us out of the tournament because we barely lose a game that we needed to win. Because he said now free throws will keep us from winning and making a deep run in the tournament. True, false? Did you get to see the game?
Better at the free throw line. We have guys that hit them sometimes when they count, but you can't be below 70% when it comes down to the season and things of that nature, and when it really matters throughout the course of the game. So yes, they have to improve in that nature.
Yeah. So, and that's what I would say. I look at it from the standpoint of this team really they have a lot of things going, but free throws, man. I will give them this because I find a positive and a negative. They hit them down the stretch, man. CJ, you must not got to watch the whole game. You down the stretch, Alabama nailed. CJ said it was a better night than usual from the free throw strike. No. At one point, we were shooting 53% from the free throw line, and then down the stretch, we hit almost all of our one-on-ones, and then we got into the double bonus. We nailed all of those until Sears stepped up. Sears may have missed 4 or 5 free throws. I know we missed double-digit free throws, and we had 18 turnovers. Those two things have to be cleaned up, and that game is not even a question down the stretch. But it became an interesting game because we did not make the right move. We got a couple callers that we want to get to on the other side, and we want to continue with some true false. Got to talk a little bit more basketball related true false. CJ said I did doze off in the first half. Well, CJ, fortunately for you, you missed all the bad free throws and watched them make them down the stretch. Alabama basketball. Joe and Xavier have spoken. Alabama is a basketball school. Let's deal with it, football fans. That's not a negative. That could just make both of us great and also help even the other programs as well. We got a few more true false questions to get to, and we invite you to get in on that conversation. One carryover for sure from yesterday, and we got a couple callers to get to. So, hey, you listen to the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. We'll be back in just a moment.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, it's a messy morning around West Alabama. Please drive carefully, slow down, and watch out for standing water. Right now, no problems in the roadways, but if you do see conditions, just give me a call. Here's a Christmas special from Townsend Nissan. $2,000 off every Armada, Murano, or Titan. Say ho at Townsend Nissan. I'm Captain Ray.
Have you ever missed Christmas? The innkeeper did. He was busy caring for his guest. King Herod did. He thought the baby Jesus would take his throne, alter his lifestyle. The chief priest missed Christmas. They were too religious to leave Jerusalem. The humble shepherds and the wise men did not miss it. God gives grace to the humble, and wise men still seek him. Which are you? Have a Merry Christmas from Taco Casa.
Did you know Nissan EVs have traveled 8 billion miles? Just a quick trip to Pluto and back. And what did we learn along the way? Well, that an EV can take on the world, like the Nissan Leaf. It can move racing forward and take your breath away, like the all-new Nissan Ariya. We learned to make EVs that electrify. 8 billion miles driven by Leaf owners globally since 2010. Ariya not yet available for purchase. Expected availability late fall, subject to change.
Weather brought to you by Tidwell Chiropractic, the only third-generation chiropractor in Tuscaloosa with over 25 years experience. Call Tidwell Chiropractic at 752-7503.
Hey y'all, I'm Steve Azar inviting you to escape to Pearl River Resort where the fun is going non-stop. Enjoy gaming excitement and catch the thrill of the big win. After the thrills, test your skills at the Dancing Rabbit Golf Club. There's dining delight and love at first sight. And it's always no work and all play at Silver Star and Golden Moon Casinos. So come on, leave it all behind and head to Pearl River Resort.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Cloudy and breezy, rain and thunderstorms becoming widespread today and tonight. The rain heavy at times. A flash flood watch is in effect. The high today 68, the low tonight 46. For tomorrow, the sky becoming mostly sunny, the high 57. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 58 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Scott Smith and Softmark Design, doing business for 17 plus years, specializing in graphic design services, commercial printing, promotional products, advertising specialties, and so much more. Basically, any and everything you would need to advertise, promote, and grow your business. Through strong partnerships, strong customer service, and creative ideas, they'll help you market and grow your business. Give Scott a call at 205-292-4680 or email scottis@comcast.net and visit them online at softmarkdesign.com.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. Don't forget about Overflow Express Wash. Overflow Express Wash. True, false? Definitely true. Best car wash in town. That's Overflow Express Car Wash right there on Skyland Boulevard and one off of McFarland as you begin to ascend the hill toward Alabama 1 up the hill on the left. That's Overflow Express Wash.com. Helping you keep your car clean inside and out. Great packages starting as low as $23.99 and up. Go check them out. Tell Andy Phillips and Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier told you to stop by. Already got some great content to get to. But before we do that, we got a couple callers we want to get to. First of all, Chuck, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Good morning to you all, and also, as you said, I convey my condolences to the Leach family and the Mississippi State family in Starkville, Mississippi. It brings us into reality, and to show you, we have to live each day to its fullest.
Absolutely.
I'm going to miss his great coaching and that great humor of his, and he brought a lot of humor away from the gridiron. And but also the reason I was calling, I was looking at the Alabama men's basketball team. I was having some flashbacks there, thinking about them. They beat Houston. You know, Brother Houston, take it back to the 1980s, Slamma Jamma, Guy Lewis' team, and then turn around and beat Memphis. You know, think about Memphis, coached by Dana Kirk, with those great teams of Keith Lee and Baskerville Holmes, Andre Turner, and William Bedford. Those guys. Like I said, it had a 1980s flashback when they started talking about those teams Alabama beating it. And but forget when they start talking about Alabama basketball, think about C.M. Newton, who hired him, Bear Bryant, as head football coach athletic director. When he hired Coach Newton, he came in and turned that program around, and it became known. And he coached at Vanderbilt as well. And then and after that, you started thinking about the coaches thinking about Wes Sanderson and just all the greatness he brought as well. Yeah, Bama had some great basketball teams there and some great players come out of there.
Without a doubt, and Bama, Nate Oates definitely is raising. I think he's raising Alabama to heights they hadn't been to at this point in the season. He has to finish this thing strong. So we'll see if he can do that. And appreciate you, Chuck, and thanks for calling, sir.
All right, you all take care and be safe.
All right, you too. All right, Alan, you're in with the Martin Hughes Show with Martin and Xavier. What's on your mind, sir?
Gentlemen, we got to pump the brakes a little bit on the basketball school. We're not there yet until we start winning championships. If you're gonna say Alabama's a basketball school, you might as well say Kentucky's a football school because they go to a bowl game. We were a basketball school. I agree. When we had Latrell Sprewell, Jason Caffey, and all them back in the 80s and early 90s. But right now, I think we're good, but we're not there yet. I think this year's team is better than last year's team for the simple fact everybody this year wants to play as a team. Last year, everybody was out for the me, or I factor. This year, everybody's playing defense. So I can remember talking to Jason Caffey and him telling me, hey, Coach Sanderson benched JR and Sprewell because they wouldn't play defense. And them two got around very quickly to learn to understand the best offense is a good defense. But like I said, I just think we will get there. But until we started winning consistently, we're going to be we're still a football school, and eventually we'll get around to it if we can start winning champion, going to the NCAA, at least going to the NCAA every year, not going to the NIT, the not invited tournament, every other year. That's just my theory.
Joe, I'll let you respond since you emphatically said when I said becoming, you said, no, Martin, we're already there. So I'll let you respond first.
Well, you're already the second most wins in SEC basketball out of any of the SEC programs. And I agree that you got to have championships, but I think two championships in 2020 is pretty impressive, and I think you're on the right track for winning another title this year, and then getting as far as or further than you've ever been in the NCAA tournament. And I think that this year you make the tournament, it'll be 3 years in a row for Nate Oates, and you're right there. You're checking all the boxes.
Yeah, I mean. Alan, you said we should call Kentucky a football school. If you put Bama's resume in basketball against Kentucky's football resume, you think those are similar?
No, what I'm saying is that they're going to bowl games. We're getting there, but we're not going far. We went to the final. We've never been to a Final Four. We've only been to the Elite Eight. We've only been to the Elite Eight one time. So at this point,
when's the last time Kentucky won in the SEC championship, let alone a national championship ever in football?
But are they a football school though? They're not a football school. They're a basketball school. But they go to a bowl game. But they go to a bowl game every year, almost.
But the difference, hold on. The difference is Alabama won the outright SEC championship in basketball 2 years ago, regular season and the tournament.
I agree with that. I understand that.
When has Kentucky done that?
I agree. I agree with everything you're saying. But winning the SEC tournament is like it's like the equivalent of winning the NCAA. Winning our SEC, winning the SEC championship game. But you don't. But
exactly,
you go to the bowl,
and I agree with you.
When you
when
got to go
has
to the bowl,
Kentucky
you got to
ever
win.
done that?
Here's what I would say is I get what you're saying, Alan, but I think our football program has been so good that we don't recognize how good our basketball program how long our basketball program has been good. You when you start having that, you can go back and name 3 or 4 coaches that have had success here. I think we're better than what we think history-wise, Alan. But to your point, I'm not comparing it to Alabama's football, but from a basketball standpoint, we're a program that's had a lot of sustained success. Joe mentioned it, Jet Cohen mentioned it, that we're second all time in wins. And I think Nate Oates is trending in a way that you have to. Okay, let me ask you this, Alan. When did you say Alabama? When did we say Alabama basketball was back? I mean, football was back under Saban. Did we say it when he got beat in the championship game, but he got there, or did we wait till he won the national title, or did we start to say, okay, we're back?
I would say me personally, I said we were back when we got rid of when we got rid of Shula. That's what I said. That's what hey, that's me personally.
Let me say it a different way. What would be our perception if we were, if our basketball program was as consistent, in as consistent as we are in basketball, if we didn't have the football program? Let's just say that Alabama was not this football program. What would be the perception of Alabama basketball?
Me personally, I would say we're not there until we money up and get a new facility for them, and we can get the big name recruits in, and put our facility is not equipped to have big name recruits coming in right now. That's why I said we're not an elite program, and we could be one. And until we pony up and get that money in there, because they've been talking about a new facility for how long? 10 years, 20 years?
Yeah.
They haven't even did it. So,
but I think once again, Alan, I think that has as much to do with our football program as it does our basketball program. In other words, I think we have struggled to become as good as we could be in basketball because we've been so elite in football. And I think for the first time, we have 2 equivalent coaches that could mingle long term. If Saban sticks around for 5 more years, I think when Wimp and Stallings was here for a little while, we had some of that. And so I just think that the reality of it is, I think that if basketball had divisions and different things like football, would Alabama be looking different and consistently representing their division?
That's exactly. I agree with that 100%. 100%. I do agree with that. If we get to that same place as Florida was with their facilities, we would definitely be there, because Florida got on board quick.
Yep.
And that was back to back. They won football and basketball.
Yeah, and I've read Urban Meyer's book, and he talks about that relationship between him and the other coach, him and Donovan, and that they lived in the same neighborhood, that they would make sure that the recruits came and visited, and their families did things together, and how that elevated both programs together. And I think we could be in that position now. I think that the SEC in basketball is a tougher conference now with the coaches that have been added than the football conference. I think the football conference got a couple juggernauts, but I think there's more elite coaches and more elite basketball in the SEC. And so maybe the true false question should be, is SEC more of a basketball league now than it is football, even though football is winning the championships? Think about that. That's kind of the same scenario I think Alabama basketball is in. So thanks, Alan. I appreciate you, sir, man. Good one. But hey, guys, respond to that real quick. Is Alabama basketball to our football program what the SEC basketball program is to the SEC basketball programs to the SEC football program? Is it kind of the same scenario?
Yeah, I think you can say that. I think that the basketball top to bottom coaches are a little bit ahead of where the football programs are as far as the coaching. Now, football is making a move, with a Josh Heupel, adding it, a Brian Kelly coming in and being able to win the SEC West in his first year. So I think there's movement happening in basketball, in football as far as the coaches to get there. But I do believe
in there.
Basketball. I'm sorry, say that again.
I said throw Hugh Freeze in now.
Yeah, so. Hugh Freeze as well. And so I think we're seeing the basketball coaches, football coaches get elevated to the same level as the basketball coaches. But I believe that the Alabama basketball program is getting elevated in the same fashion.
Any thoughts on that, Joe, before we get to break?
Yeah, I do think that that's a pretty fair comparison, because obviously Alabama football and SEC football carry the banner for their respective brands, but I think that SEC basketball and Alabama basketball are not slouches in the grand scheme of things, but they're just not quite on the level of their football counterpart.
Yeah, and you have to ask yourself how many. And it's a tougher road. It's a tougher road to get there in terms of basketball. So. You have to think, where would Nate Oates have been if football was set up basketball was set up, guys, the same way as football when we won the double tournament, right? Where would Nate Oates have been if it was like football, right? He would have been.
Yeah, he would have automatically been in the just 14 just because you had to. He'd been in the top 12 like the football's going to.
Yep. You see, so it's a little different road. If he won the regular season and the championship game, he would have been in the bracket to be in the conversation, just like we'll see in football. Fortunately for us as Bama fans, I think C.J. Watson says it best: we're a football school, a basketball school, a softball school, and keep it going. We turned into women's soccer this past year. We've had other sports jump up. We've won national championship in golf. So Alabama has a great athletic program. We just have a juggernaut under Nick Saban in football that kind of has us spoiled. And hey, listen, all I can tell you is right now, guys, we've never been sitting prettier than we are at this moment. Can Nate Oates and his team close the deal? We'll find out as this season goes along. Got another big test coming up Saturday. We got a couple football questions, and I even got a would you rather question I might mix in before we bring Pat into the conversation. You listen to the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier right here on your home, the home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, a lot of rain around the area. Please slow down and be careful. We've got a wreck. This is at the entrance to Mercedes Gate 1. Traffic's really messed up, so you're going to have a delay getting into the plant. If you see other conditions, give me a call. Here's a Christmas special from Townsend Nissan. $2,000 off every Armada, Murano, or Titan. Say ho at Townsend Nissan. I'm Captain Ray.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors, Overflow Express Wash. Their mission is to provide great customer service with a showroom clean car and an exceptional customer service experience. They have the basic car wash that starts at $7, but you need to check out the premium wash packages, which start as low as $12 and go up to $20. They also have a membership wash club that you can get for starting at $23.99, going up to $39.99. In other words, just double the regular premium package, drop a penny, and you can be one of the great members of Overflow Express Wash. My family and I keep our cars looking good inside and out by using Overflow Express Wash. They're located on Skyland Boulevard, right next door to Alabama 1, or you can find them online at overflowexpresswash.com. Andy Phillips and his team look forward to making you a part of their team.
Have you been naughty or nice this year? Cash don't care. At Jackson Hewitt, you could still get up to $4,500 for the holidays. Some bucks now, more bucks in January. So be naughty. Snap up all the ginger snaps. Wear a pretty sweater to an ugly sweater holiday party. You could still get up to $4,500 when you go to Jackson Hewitt today. Details at jacksonhewitt.com. Eligible clients can get up to $1,000 in December and up to $3,500 in January. Loans by Republic Bank and Trust Company. Finance charge may apply.
It's the Tuscaloosa Community Calendar, powered by Pepsi.
Theater Tuscaloosa presents a new musical that combines Christmas cookies and competition. The Great Christmas Cookie Bake-Off. This family-friendly musical is inspired by TV's popular kids baking shows. 8 young chefs are challenged with secret ingredients and fickle celebrity judges. As they strive for culinary greatness, they also learn lessons about the true spirit of Christmas. The Great Christmas Cookie Bake-Off runs December 9th through 18th in the Bean Brown Theater on Shelton State's Martin campus. More info is available at theatertusc.com.
Dell Technologies' Days of Deals for Business start now with fresh, limited quantity deals on tech to drive productivity. Save on select performance laptops and desktops powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, plus free shipping on everything, and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
If you need ATV service or repair, TNT Marine and Power Sports does repair and service on all makes and models of ATVs,
Motorcycles and side-by-sides.
Pickup and drop-off service is available by calling TNT Marine and Power Sports at 737-5213.
Keep it locked into Tide 100.9 for more of the Martin Houston Show with Martin Houston and X's and O's Sports, Xavier Houston.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. Don't forget about Alabama One. Alabama One, your one source for all your financial needs. Alabama One asking you the question, what's your one as you head into the Christmas holidays? We want to be there to help you make all of those great purchases, maybe a car loan, maybe even a new house for the holidays, but whatever, maybe an RV, a recreational vehicle. We can help you get the money that you need. Hey, maybe you need just a great place to put some money. We got some great rates and opportunities for you there as well. Alabama One, alabama1.org, Alabama One together. What's your one? Hey guys, real quick. Here's I was responding to Curtis Lewis and a couple of people on Facebook. Curtis said that Nick Saban has taken Alabama to places this program's never been. Guys, would you say that what Nate Oates has done? Everybody needs to forget. Saban took Alabama to got Alabama back to what we expected, and then maintained it. At this point, would you say that Nate Oates, true or false, really quick? We don't have to get into a lot of detail. True or false? What Nate Oates has accomplished, not what he'll accomplish. I don't know how far he'll go, but his trajectory line is trending. If you weren't running a timeline and coaches in their careers and what they're able to accomplish, would you say Nate Oates' trajectory is right now projecting to be higher than any coach in Alabama history at this point in their career? Has Nate Oates accomplished just as much as Saban had in the first few years until Saban got us back to that national championship?
True.
What about you, Joe?
Yeah, I say true as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing is Saban came here to a school that had how many national championship winning coaches before Saban? All right,
4.
4 or 5, something like that. I mean, we had 12, and and so that's the point of Nate. I don't know that he will get us beyond that, but right now he's done everything you would want if you wanted to have a coach take your program to new levels. Recruiting, which is where Saban started. Nate Oates has shown that. This is his team, I believe. The what you got, and that's why I use the term becoming. But is national championship, if he gets us to an Elite Eight, a Final Four, is he in the same category with Saban at that point in his career? If that happens in the next 3-4 years, would you say that? And here's the question: we're gonna see how many championships Saban wins now that NIL exists and transfer portal exists. Because answer this, guys, and man, there's so many questions coming up. Joe, you can go first on this. Is the early exit the same thing as the transfer portal, and how good is Saban going to be in this era? And basketball coaches have had to deal with that. Think about this. Right now, you're looking at this basketball team. If these guys were locked in for 3 years the way they used to, right? Someone said that Nate Oates won't be considered unless he wins a national championship. Well, Alabama's never got to a Final Four. So if he gets to a Final Four, to me, he's taking the program higher than it's ever been. So, but what are you guys' thoughts on the transfer portal versus early entrance, and how Nick Saban is going to manage that process? Is what basketball coaches have had to do every time they got a great 5-star.
Maybe Nick Saban can walk across the parking lot and ask Coach Oates for a little advice, but I think he's going to handle it just fine.
Yeah. So to me, I look at it from that standpoint of you look at it. Transfer portal is, you don't get to develop these young players, and Saban has had the advantage of doing that. But the reason we're all worried or have more concern than normal, not worried necessarily, with Alabama, is that some of those future stars are no longer in our program. Well, that's what basketball has had to deal with. Would Alabama have been better if Sexton had to come back for 2 more years and not been able to leave after one? How would you be feeling about Alabama basketball right now? If you looked at that court right now, true, false, guys, if you looked at the court right now at Alabama and you knew that 4 of those freshmen had to be back for 2 more years, what would you say the future of Alabama basketball was?
Very, very good. Definitely competing for national championships, Final Fours, however you want to look at it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's a lot. I love it. And by the way, I'm happy that Alabama basketball is relevant early in the season, with another chance to knock off a perennial blue blood in basketball. Pat, you in with the Martin Hughes Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Good morning. I'm a good fellas. Hey, undoubtedly that last caller that was belly aching about the Coleman Coliseum wasn't there last night. That after $60 at the concession stand, that I at least watched Alabama win the ball game, which was never, even though the score was really closer than I wanted it to be, it was never in doubt that Alabama was going to win the ball game. I felt like from the get-go that Nate has produced a special basketball. I mean, like I said, what I've saw the last few games that I've been to watch them, that and Miller is phenomenal. That I mean, we got nothing to fuss about, and the crowd last night was very relevant. It was loud. It was ask Joe. Joe was there, and it was an incredible crowd last night. Martin, what do you think?
Yeah, I was there too. Of course, I happened to sit behind 2 people that stand up because we dribbled the ball down the court. Sit down and watch the game instead of jumping up every single time. But anyway, that's another side story. Pat. I think that Nate Oates is trending. I just said trajectory. You have to look at it and be happy about your basketball program. So, and that was just my point. Becoming or is a basketball school, I think it's okay to, if you feel like we're already there, I think that's okay. And I also think it's okay but don't sleep on what this program has done in the past. And can Nate Oates take us to new heights? At this point in the season, he has taken us to heights we haven't been to. And now the question is, can he finish, Pat? And that's the big question. I appreciate you, Pat. Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir. Hey, have a blessed day. And hey, I was happy to have a seat there last night in the 8,500 seat arena. You and I might not have got a seat. Like we was having a hard time getting on that airplane to Miami, if you remember, in Birmingham.
Yeah.
Have a great one, my buddy.
Have a great one. Yeah, that's good. Hey guys, we're gonna do some would you rather. I have a couple of would you rather recruiting questions, and I think we can tie that in to Hank South on tomorrow. And we can have this conversation too, but I want to go ahead and throw it out there real quick. True, false. Does the silence of Bryce Young and Will Anderson, does it mean anything in terms of them potentially playing in the bowl game? And the fact, unless it happened and I didn't catch it, that neither one of them as juniors have accepted to play in the Senior Bowl either.
Say that again, you broke up on my end.
I said true, false. Should we read positively into the possibility of having Will Anderson and Bryce Young, the fact that they're not saying anything, they haven't accepted a Senior Bowl bid, and they haven't said they're opting out, and practice starts Friday. Should we read true, false into that, hey, we may have these two guys in the bowl game after all?
As Alabama fans, it's a great thing, seeing those guys give it one more go in the Alabama uniform. But in the same breath, I would like to take the next few weeks and see what we have for the future as well. But yeah, I mean, it's great that if they play.
Yeah, and someone asked, Robert Saucier asked, they cannot play in the Senior Bowl, can they? No, they can now. They can actually, the Senior Bowl has they can extend it to certain juniors. So I don't know if these two guys qualify for that or not, but there have been juniors who have left early that have played. So it's truly not the Senior Bowl anymore. Am I correct on that, Joe, before we get to break?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I know that there's been a couple juniors that have played. I had to go back and look at it, but we can think about it. But the fact that we've not heard anything, is that a positive or negative? We'll have to talk about it more tomorrow. Coming back on the other side, we will keep the conversation going right here on the Martin Houston Show as the Martin Houston Speaks brings in Executive Director Scotty Hollins, Blueprint Ministries.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, a lot of rain around the area. Please slow down and be careful. We've got a wreck. This is at the entrance to Mercedes Gate 1. Traffic's really messed up, so you're going to have a delay getting into the plant. If you see other conditions, give me a call. Here's a Christmas special from Townsend Nissan. $2,000 off every Armada, Murano, or Titan. Say ho, ho, ho at Townsend Nissan. I'm Captain Ray.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Good Wednesday morning. A flood watch is in effect through this evening as a storm system moves into the state from the west, bringing the chance for strong to severe thunderstorms, including tornadoes. A tornado watch is currently in effect in Mississippi, could be extended into Alabama later today, mainly south of I-2059. ABC 3340 meteorologist Taylor Sorello telling us rain will impact the entire area, causing flooding and flash flooding. The threat runs from noon until 8 p.m. in West Alabama. I'm Don Hartley.
At EasyCater, food for work is our thing. Maybe that's why we get orders from 93% of Fortune 500 companies. So what's up with the other 7%?
Everyone, meet our newest employee, Susan. She has an idea that is going to revolutionize our food ordering.
Hi, Susan. So nice to meet you.
Unfortunately, she just gave her notice, and today is her last day.
I'm gonna miss her. Why don't all companies order through EasyCater? Who knows? Order 24/7 from over 95,000 restaurants on EasyCater.com. EasyCater, food for work. It's our thing.
The new Jalapenos downtown location is open for business. Same great Jalapenos food plus the largest selection of tequila in Alabama. Now in downtown Tuscaloosa.
It's the Tuscaloosa Community Calendar, powered by Pepsi.
The Junior League of Tuscaloosa is excited to announce Merry and Bright at the Bama Theater. Enjoy Christmas classics Elf and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation on Saturday, December 17th in the newly renovated Bama Theater. Concessions will be offered during both movies. Matinee tickets for Elf are $12 each, and evening tickets for National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation are $15 each. All ticket sales benefit the Junior League of Tuscaloosa's community partners, including Holt Elementary School and Tuscaloosa Angels. Log on to jltuscaloosa.org.
This Christmas, give your family the ultimate gift everyone will enjoy. A new boat from Boatworks in Northport. If you fish, Boatworks carries Camus Bass Boats by Earl Bentz and powered by Mercury Outboards. If you want to relax and cruise on the water, Boatworks carries Veranda and Viaggio pontoons, powered by Mercury Outboards. Give your family the ultimate Christmas gift this year. A new bass boat or pontoon from Boatworks, where they sell fun. Located in the old L&L Marine location on Highway 82 West in Northport.
Where does the magic of the holidays come from? The North Pole? Maybe. Sugar plum fairies? Probably not. At Walgreens, we know that magic comes from you. It's the halls you deck from wall to wall, the wonderful gifts under your tree, and the holly jolly parties you throw. So dash into your local Walgreens, where we'll be here to help every merry little step of the way. Because when you're ready to spread the holiday cheer, it's not magic, it's Walgreens. This week, Starbucks mugs are 50% off. Select styles available while supplies last.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9. It's now time for us to get into our weekly conversation with Scotty Hollins, Executive Director of Blueprint Ministries. Good morning, Scotty. Encourage you to help us take our faith from a boardroom, the classroom, or our chosen field of play. How do we make that thing count?
Awesome. Well, listen, as we approach the end of the year, I want to finish our series on the power to persevere. Hey, didn't mean for that to rhyme, but guess I got a little.
It's just in you, man. It's just in you.
Unintentionally. But anyway, so hey, want to finish this on the power to persevere. So I want to. It's pretty neat the way this passage and the way our series has gone. Thank you, Martin, always for jumping in and just providing extra perspective. I just want to finish. I mean, I love this passage because these people are like us. They're not perfect. They need help. They go through times of lulls and going through the motions and maybe doing some of the right things, but maybe just with no passion, no heart. And so we can relate to these people, man. And so what I love is the author of Hebrews and how he comes in to say, listen, if you're going to persevere, it really, if you're going to finish strong, then you have to persevere. And so he says the power to persevere, because the goal is always to finish strong. Nobody wants to coast over the finish line. Everybody wants to finish strong, right? So, he talks about looking back, and I'm going to just say this right quick. He says, look back at the great cloud of witnesses. Those are good examples. And he goes through this list, as we talk about each week. He's going through this list of people who are good examples and people who, by faith in the Lord, here's what they were able to do. And they had very difficult lives, very difficult circumstances, but they persevered by faith, and therefore they were able to finish strong. And then the final example, I think it's so fitting because here we are in the Advent season, approaching Christmas. And who better to show as the best example than Jesus? And he says, fixing our eyes. You glance at those people in the past, glance at the people, Noah, glance at Abraham, glance at all these others who who were good examples that by faith, they persevered in their faith in the Lord. They persevered, and as a result, they finished strong. But don't just glance at this one. Fix your eyes on this one. Fix your eyes on Jesus, who's the pioneer and perfecter, also known as the author and the finisher of our faith. And he says, for the joy set before him endured the cross. I'm gonna stop there because that's where we're gonna finish our series. Who for the joy set before him endured the cross. And so I want to just make sure we understand that. Listen, the cross wasn't easy for him. He had to endure, and some things we can't enjoy. You just can't. Some things you have to endure, and Jesus gives us a great example of how to endure those things. Even as he's in the Garden of Gethsemane, and he says, "Hey, here's what I want to do. I mean, Lord, if there's any way to take this cup away from me, but nevertheless, not my will, but your will be done." The power to persevere is looking unto fixing our eyes on Jesus and following him faithfully and allowing him to give us the strength and grace to finish strong. Listen, in his power and for his glory. Martin?
Yeah, that's so awesome. And Scott, like you say, I like to always make an analysis for my football sports fans out there. Is you look at it, hey, let's look. Alabama's had great championships before. Boom, great. That's awesome. You're going to go through it. You're going to go through lower gym or fourth quarter, they call it. You're going to go through those hot summers and you're going to go through all of those things. But the fact that Nick Saban has convinced you that a national championship or the NFL or a degree or whatever motivates you is before you, if you fix your eyes on that, for me personally, Scotty, there was days that and this is the truth. There was days because I was not in. I had to run the same times as the skill position as a fullback, and so I couldn't make any of the times. I couldn't make it. I had to run extra every day the first 4 years I was here, every single day.
Wow!
And I would go to the locker room, man, and I would lay on that bench and say, "You can do it." But you know what drove me was I would fix my eyes on the fact that my parents couldn't pay for me to be in college, and that if I was going to get a degree from Alabama, it was going to be because I football. So I endured the suffering of running extra every day.
Martin, you didn't enjoy it? You didn't enjoy it?
I enjoyed the result of it. But when I was going through the suffering, it didn't. But the reward of the suffering made me endure it.
Some things you just got to endure, don't you? Yeah.
That's right. And so as a result of that, I was able to get that degree. And of course, I stayed my last year and got a national championship, a SEC championship, etc. And that's the same thing Jesus is saying to us. Hey, man, there's been some great believers before you. Look at them, learn from them. But know that I have a plan for your life and know what that goal is. Know what my plan is. Then fix your eyes on me because I'm writing it out. I'm the author and the finisher of your faith. Stay in the race, endure it. And to go through those lower gym moments and fourth quarter moments and the losses where you lose on the last play and then overtime. Let's roll out of here. Thanks for all that you do in terms of what you do, Scotty. Tell them where you can find them.
Absolutely. You can go to www.blueprinttuscaloosa.com. You can send me a message there and come straight to my email.
All right. We'll be back tomorrow with more of that. That's Scotty Hollins, Executive Director, Blueprint Ministry, presented by Martin Houston Speaks. Remember this, trust in the Lord always. Lean not your own understanding. All your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Roll Tide out there, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9